The Post. The Post. Townships interviews. Don't forget breaking news. The Post, the Post, the Post. Broadcast.
Welcome back to the Pulse broadcast. I'm William Crooks. Here's a phrase you might have not have heard before. Demolition by neglect. The idea is simple and a little unsettling. Someone buys an old building, lets it sit, does the bare minimum or nothing at all, and waits. Eventually the roof leaks, the windows go, the structure starts to fail. And at some point, the only option left is to tear it down. Heritage advocates say it's a pattern that turns up across small-town Quebec. And here in the townships, the conversation has landed on one building in particular, the former Ursuline convent in Stanstead. Today, two perspectives. Matthew Farfan of the Quebec Anglophone Heritage Network on why this keeps happening, and Stanstead Mayor Jody Stone on a new bylaw the town is hoping will change it. Let's get into it.
Hi, Matthew. It is Bill from the Pulse. How you doing?
Hi. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Do you have 10 minutes to talk about demolition by neglect?
Sure.
Fantastic. So the Devoir article seemed to center around things happening in Stanstead. And as a bit of background that I can't print really because there's no proof or whatever, people were being accused in North Hatley too last year. And the phenomenon seems to be you buy a heritage building and then you just kind of let it go. And then eventually it needs to be demolished. And then you kind of it's a way of kind of circumventing heritage rules. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, I would say so. And it's very common in Quebec, probably elsewhere.
Okay. Now, could you go into a little bit more, like, how do you know it's common? How do you prove a thing like this?
Because you see it in the news all the time. You do a quick Google. We get a lot of stuff in our various media feeds about heritage buildings around Quebec, often in small towns that and often privately that get to the point where they're basically falling down. Every time we see it, it's sad. And in the Stanstead case, I don't know that it's deliberate.
Right.
If it's a deliberate strategy or not, who knows? What's important is that the government, all levels of government, have certain tools at their disposal. And we all say that we love our heritage, but what is being done? What's done about it? So that's the question. If we're not prepared to invest in it, to maintain these buildings, what is the point of passing laws that give municipalities promise to protect them?
Right.
A good example is last year. Not a building per se, but a covered bridge, which you may remember in Mansonville.
Yes. Yeah, I covered that extensively. Sure.
Right. So, perfect example of demolition by neglect. And the irony with that case was that the building had been classified as a heritage structure literally the year before by the province of Quebec, so the highest level of protection. Yes, until there was this huge public outcry, including by this office here. Nothing was gonna, they were gonna demolish it basically, and the tenders had gone out, and basically with public reaction,
right,
reversed it. Some good media exposure. I don't know if that's possible in Stanstead.
Right.
I hope so. As I said I talked a lot about the demolition by neglect with the Devoir. That didn't really get too much into the article. Municipalities typically very carefully pick their battles.
Okay.
Local towns are typically not super wealthy.
Right.
Tend to pick their battles. heritage is a hill that a lot of municipal officials are not prepared to die on, basically.
Right.
So, but if you see the public reaction, for example, on various Facebook posts to the situations with the Ursuline convent, it's obvious people are attached to their history and to the buildings that mean something.
Sure.
The same was the case last year when the same town authorized the demolition of the old Waldeteers house, which...
Yes, I covered that too. I remember that, yeah.
The oldest customs house
Yeah.
in the province of Quebec. So you would think, well, that's got very important history, especially for a border town. But it's another great example of this phenomenon that you're talking about, where proprietor, whether it's by willful neglect or just lack of funds, or both,
Right.
or maybe some other circumstances, the building starts to fall apart, gets to the point where it's deemed unsafe or unsalvageable.
Right.
It happens all the time.
Right.
People complain about it. The government says they care about our heritage.
Right.
We pass laws at both levels, provincially and municipally. Passing a law might make you feel good when you pass it, because you can claim that you care about something, but it's enforcement that counts.
Right. Right. Of course. Sure.
So, to enforce something is really for politicians.
Right.
Can entail expense, right?
Sure. Now, from your vantage point, I mean, is there anything you could do to fix this phenomenon? I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? Because it seems a lot to ask for a private individual to buy a heritage house and then put tons of money in it to keep it up themselves. You know, like why would you do? I mean, it's nice if they do that, but why would you do that? And what would is there any kind of alternative? Like, do you know about anything that anywhere has done to kind of fix this issue, or is it really kind of a kind of a common issue that has no resolution? You know,
there are plenty of studies that show that maintaining a heritage building cost effective than building from scratch.
Okay.
Yes. That's assuming you don't let it get to the point of no return.
Right.
So with that, also just education. It's constant, but I'm a firm believer of putting your money where your mouth is. But I agree. It's a tall order for a lot of property owners. If something is seen as part of the public good, maybe there should be a fund or funds available for
Sure.
private heritage property owners. I think it's something that government should look at. Go on a case-by-case basis. Obviously, everybody could get access to it, but maybe there are certain it's property owners really cannot afford. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't have all the answers.
Right.
But, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Maintaining property of any kind, it's a regular maintenance. But if you do zero maintenance on any property, whether it's an old one or a new one, will start to fall apart. It doesn't have to be 200 years old.
Right.
If you buy a house, you do F all with it for 20, 25 years. But
Right.
if the house was built in 2000 or 1884, it's like the convent, things are going to start to happen. The windows will get broken. There's going to be vandals or animals get in and the roof will fall down. It's just, that's what happens.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
all the more so if the building is 150, 200 years old.
Yeah. Now, one thing that would be interesting, maybe you don't want to speculate, but do you have your eye on possible buildings in the townships that may face this in the next couple of years that people might want to start talking to their municipality about already, before it's too late?
There are all kinds of them,
Okay.
but the homes around Barn in Wavehill, it's a beautiful historical site. It's privately owned. I know the family. They've taken a lot of pride in their barn. 20-some odd years old. It's one of very few round bars left in Quebec. It's a recognized historic site. It's told it's the money from Quebec. Despite that recognition,
Right.
the family are trying to do what they can. It's expensive, so I think they're embarking on a fundraising campaign. It's a question of pride for a lot of property owners. That's just one example, right? There are just countless. So small towns everywhere you drive through them, you see, homes started to get run down, particularly when they're left vacant. So at Stanstead, unfortunately, good example of that.
Right.
Downtown Rock Island, formerly known as Rock Island.
Sure.
Several vacant buildings have
Yeah.
been vacant for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
We don't want to end up with towns and villages of parking lots.
Right.
What's the point? So
Yeah.
I don't have all the solutions, but I think it starts with education and certainly some funding. So
Sure. No, that's great. One last little thing. I see.
before you go on,
Yeah.
the convent, the situation with the convent, I don't know what their intention. Sorry, I have no idea. I don't know the promoters.
Right.
I do know what it looks like right now.
Yeah, I saw the picture. Yeah.
It's people drive by every day, multiple times a day, and they have to look at this. It's abominable,
Right.
and it's a reminder every day that this is what happens when you do nothing. You stick a Band-Aid on something and hope for the best. It's just gently stuck on.
Right.
I mean, come on, maintenance. So I don't know what their intentions are, their strategy. If it's, I hope they fix it up. I think it's an important landmark, and like I said, it's generations of people, not just from Stanstead, but across the township, sent their kids there, and generations of nuns taught there. Some of them are still alive, and I think part of it is a question of respect. So respecting that history and that meaning that place holds for a community, I think it's important.
Sure. Okay, one last little thing. I covered the Stanstead council meetings quite a bit, and I seem to remember the mayor and the councillors passing some kind of new thing about letting buildings go. You can't just do that or something. Do you know anything about that at all? I think I'll call the mayor about it, but
you should speak to Jody. I believe you're right. I did pass a bylaw giving power to enforce maintenance, I guess, on buildings.
Right.
So they don't go too far. Like I said, you have to check with Jody to make sure, but it comes back to what I said before about political will to enforce something.
Right.
It's all great if you pat yourself on the back if you pass a bylaw, and I think all politicians are guilty of that to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere it's easy to pass a law.
Right.
It's a lot less easy to enforce it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of willpower. I hope that Stanstead can figure that out, because it's a beautiful historic town with some amazing architecture that deserves protection. Hello.
Hi, Jody. It's Phil from the Pulse.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good, you?
Not bad. So you got 5 minutes to just, I'm doing a follow-up. Matthew Farfan, I'm sure you know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did an interview with Le Devoir about, what he called demolition by neglect, and it seemed to center around the convent in Stanstead.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, it just brought to mind that, everything kind of runs together. I cover so many stories, but you guys passed new bylaws relatively recently to kind of give you more power to enforce maintenance of buildings, right?
That's right.
Okay, could you just talk about that a little bit, and then we'll relate it to kind of what he's saying?
Yeah, well, it's what they call the règlement d'occupation et d'entretien des bâtiments, and basically it gives the municipality leverage over a owner to enforce certain restrictions on how they need or things to make sure that they maintain the building in the proper way. And this is a bylaw that every municipality needs to adopt across the province of Quebec. So it's something new that's come out, but every municipality needs to adopt something similar.
Okay.
So we were the first ones in the MRC to do this because we have several concerns for several buildings, including the one you're talking about. You'll sit in.
Yeah.
So we were trying to give ourselves a little bit of a head start to be able to have something in place so that we could use something to help us with these with these property owners to maintain their properties. Yeah.
Sure. Now, the language of the bylaw, is it like a looks and aesthetic thing? Is it a safety thing? Like what precisely are the criteria, just briefly?
Well, there's a lot of stuff in there, but it's a guideline on things that we expect a property owner to have.
Okay.
For the building not to deteriorate. So obviously, if there's a hole in the roof, if there's a hole in the wall, if there's those types of things, they need to be taken care of. Yeah, so it's not necessarily aesthetic. It's more to ensure that the property it doesn't deteriorate.
Right. Okay, and what kind of teeth does the bylaw have? Like, if people don't follow it, what kind of enforcement does it allow you to do?
Yeah, well, it actually allows us to fine property owners.
Okay.
So the fines can go up pretty steep, can go up pretty high. And it also allows us to do work in the place of the property owner and then bill it back to the property owner. But this has to go to the Supreme Court.
Okay, wow.
The authorization to do that. But there's concerns as well. Like there's things that, a property owner could just declare to just stop paying their municipal taxes, and then the town would get stuck with the property. There's a whole bunch of reasons why we need to be careful with how we adopt or how we apply these these fines and these types of things, because it could come back. So what we're doing is we're trying to work with the property owners to rectify the issues that we see on these buildings.
Right. Now, is there any kind of, is it the same bylaw for all properties, period, or are heritage buildings different?
Well, we group them all in the same bylaw, so that way we have the same, we're able to apply the rule to any property, but I think across the province is mainly for heritage buildings.
Okay.
But Stanstead being, we have a large number of heritage buildings.
Yeah.
So we just looped everybody into the same rule, into the same bylaw.
Okay, great. When did this come in exactly? A couple months ago?
It came in end of I think it was November or December of last year.
Okay.
2025. Yeah.
Okay. And has any property owner triggered any problem? Has this gone through yet, or?
Well, the bylaw has gone through. We have sent out some notices.
Okay.
Some of them have been addressed, some not. So And the other thing is that it's a fairly new bylaw. It's a new rules that have been put in place across the province. There's not any precedent yet in the province, so we're trying to tread lightly and be careful on how we enforce these bylaws. So
Yeah.
Things are taking a little longer than we would hope, but we're gaining experience and we're learning from what we're doing as we go along. And of course, talk about the elephant in the room. The Ursuline is a very old heritage building, something that the community or the town council would love to see repaired and maintained. So we're working hard at figuring out a solution for that particular property, and we want to do that in collaboration, obviously, with the owner of the building.
Okay, great. Now the whole aim, I mean, the purpose of what Matthew was saying, he called it demolition by neglect, and the pattern he's identifying, although it seems very difficult to prove this is what people do, but they buy a heritage property that nobody else wants, and of course, normally heritage properties are like in really nice locations in a town, right? And then they don't fix, and then they don't fix them up on purpose, so that at some point they can say, "Oh, we have to demolish," and then they have this nice, beautiful property in the middle of town that they can do anything with. Now, this bylaw that you passed, is it specifically to prevent that? And if it isn't, like, what else could you do?
Well, the bylaw is to protect the assets, to protect the heritage buildings that we have in our town.
Right.
The bylaw is to protect people doing if that's in fact what they're doing. Doing that. It takes away that ability for them to just sit on something and let it deteriorate to the point where there's no return, right?
Right.
So that's what we want to prevent, because we have a lot of value here in Stanstead with our heritage buildings.
Oh, yeah.
We want to keep that value. So that's what we're putting in place, but we're treading lightly to how we apply it.
Right.
We don't want to go gung-ho and then turn around and go to court and then we lose.
Right.
We want to do things in the right way. And of course, we prefer to do it in collaboration with the property owners.
Right. And like you were saying, I mean, one thing you could speculate people might do is if you make it financially painful for them, they can just stop paying at all, and then the city takes it over, and then suddenly the city's in charge of all these buildings, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's not what we want.
Right.
We don't want that burden to go back onto the taxpayer.
Right.
The owners of the properties should be the ones taking care of maintaining their buildings.
Right.
Should they not have the means no more to maintain those buildings, maybe they should be looking at letting someone else take care of the building.
Right.
But no, the taxpayer shouldn't be on the hook for every time a property owner has a building and doesn't want to maintain it.
Right.
And what we're talking about is just making sure the roof doesn't leak, making sure the windows are taken care of, making sure,
Right.
We're not saying that you have to make sure that the coat of paint inside of the house is perfect.
Right.
We're making sure that the building is maintained, so that we don't lose that precious value that we feel that a lot of our buildings in Stanstead have.
Right.
So that's where it stands. A new set of rules, a town treading carefully, and a building that, for a lot of people in the townships, carries more than a century of history. Both Farfan and Stone landed in roughly the same place. Passing a law is the easy part. As Farfan put it, it's enforcement that counts. Whether Stanstead's bylaw has teeth in practice is something we'll be watching. The full written story is up now at The Pulse. If you've got a heritage building in your community you think is headed this way, we'd like to hear about it. That's it for this episode. I'm William Crooks. Thanks for listening to the Pulse broadcast. And always remember, keep that finger on the pulse.
The Post doo 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 doo. The Post doo 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 doo. Townships interviews. Don't forget breaking news. The Post, the Post, the Post. Broadcast just for you. Or heading out for a cruise, or lying there for a snooze. The Post, the Post, the Post. Broadcast just for you. Hey, I know that guy. Hey, I know that gal too. The Post, the Post, the Post. Broadcast just for you. The townships are the muse. Make sure to choose the Post, the Post, the Post, the Post. The Post, the Post, the Post, the Post. The Post of the Eastern Townships broadcast just for you.